As mentioned before, these three gentlemen in the first session are Professor Chun-Yen Chang, Mr. Johnson Sher, and Mr. Tatsuki Sekine. As first, I would like to introduce President Emeritus and National-Endowed-Chair Professor Emeritus of National-Chiao University, Hsinchu, Taiwan, Professor Chun-Yen Chang. His topic, or the title of his topic, is The Past and the Post-Information Age. Let me briefly introduce our first guest. Professor Emeritus Chun-Yen Chang received his bachelor degree in electrical engineering at the National-Cheng University in Taiwan in 1960. He graduated from National-Endowed-Chair University in Hsinchu, Taiwan in electronic engineering with a master and PhD degree in 1962 and 1970 respectively. His professional experience are Professor is former president of National-Chiao University from 1998 to 2006, Professor Emeritus, NCTU Emeritus Endowed Chair from 2006. He is a former Dean of Engineering, EECS, and Dean of Research. He's also founding president of National Nano-Device Laboratories in Taiwan from 1990 to 1997. He also worked as senior researcher at Bell Laboratories in 1981 as visiting professor of Stuttgart University in Stuttgart, Germany, 1990, 1993, and 1996. His major contributions are in the areas of VLSI, microelectronics, optoelectronics, and microwaves. From 1960s, he has worked on tunneling and superconductor-semiconductor interface. Professor Chang established the first semiconductor research center in Taiwan at NCTU during 1964 to 1974. Professor holds more than 45 granted patents and more than 10 patent pendings. He published more than 380 scientific papers in international journals and continues to give keynote speeches at international conferences, and we are happy to have him here. Since 1963, he has established the first semiconductor research center in Taiwan and has supervised more than 350 masters and 70 PhD students who are now the key persons both in academic and business areas all over the world. Professor Chang is a recipient of various honors, such as Outstanding Technology Award of Prime Minister of Taiwan from 1997, Outstanding Research Award of National Science Council, Taiwan ROC, 1983, or ROC President Award in Engineering Science, 2007, and many, many more. Without Professor Chang's leadership, Taiwanese electronics industry could not be so flourished and only to the economy of Taiwan, but also to the world. Please welcome Professor Chang. Welcome, Professor. The word is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Otto. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. ¿Cómo está usted? Muy bien, thank you. So it's my great pleasure and honor to have you here in just a good afternoon. Today, I'm delivering some small things, but it kind of relaxed. It's not so serious. But I would like to raise up some of ideas in the 21st century and then discuss something about information, communication, technology in the fast-changing world of 21st century. Today, my speech, my talk, is on the past and the post in the information age. This is my name, Chun-Yen Chang. I sound is very Chinese, okay. So not so English, okay. Next slide, please. So this is my outline. First, come up with a prologue. Then I will deliver to you something about something newly happened just recently. This is so-called Winter Empire is facing challenges. You know, empire of Microsoft and Intel has been dominating the world for almost half a century. Intel was established in 1968 when the founder delivered me a letter. I remember that was the year 1968, and until now, they are dominating the world, but now is facing challenges. Therefore, you can see that we call an operating system was dominated by Microsoft Windows for almost half a century. But now, Android is coming up. This is one thing I would like to discuss with you or deliver to you something new. And you can see that India has almost dominating in the world in CPU, but you know, the newcomers, a big giant called ARMS, is challenging India. So such kind of thing happening all the way. And now all the media say mobile is flying. So I will discuss with you and we deliver something about what is flying. What is flying? The smartphone is flying. Therefore, create another business, create a job. But in order to discuss this, I should address a little bit about what Taiwan happened in the past half centuries. I think would be interesting to you. So I will deliver a little bit about what happened in Taiwan, ICT, information, communication, technology development in Taiwan. Maybe it will be very interesting in how Taiwan developed such kind of things in the past half a century. I don't know if you are interested or not. I'm sure maybe you are interested. Then I will say all those happening, what happens? The idea is changing, the mindset is changing. What is the mindset? The professor of Harvard University, Christensen, he announced in the 21st century, disruptive innovation is occurring, disruptive innovation. And I would like to introduce about what is disruptive innovation, because that's so important in your mindset to develop your country, to help your people to be made a very good life. So I think that would be an interesting topic I would like to address to you. And then now you know a kind of revolution is coming. We change the whole world. Everything is changing the world. What is that? Wearable computing. And I did about what is wearable computing. whatever computer is coming in your life, in your daily life, in every day, every minute, every second. So I just address you about that, what they are doing, what Google is doing, what Windows is doing, what Apple is doing. Okay, so then I would like to address about that. Then finally, most importantly, the mindset, innovation, disruptive innovation for education. Nevertheless, I'm an educator, but not only I'm an educator, education is so important to do everything. So I will finally, I give you a little flavor about disruptive innovation for education. Finally, a conclusion. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is a introduction. So as you know, ICT is emerging. Okay? And there's big change for those big giants. Bell Telephone is changing the way. IBM is changing the way, has been changed. Microsoft now is changing for surviving. India is now to be changed for survival, right? And the Google and the Apple, whatever, all the companies doing something, innovation, do something innovation for surviving. And the first example was that IBM, 30 years ago. IBM was a computer giant, supercomputer giant. It's kind of company making computing machine. But today, IBM is no longer just a machine. IBM, a company doing services for the people. Therefore, there's a word saying, IBM is changing from machine to people, okay? So, you can see the history. You say, in the beginning, IBM is a big giant in making supercomputer. However, it changed to people. Then, the era of mini computer is coming in the year of 1980. But now, mini computer is not existing, right? From supercomputer to mini computer, then to notebook, to PC, to notebook, to netbook, and then recently, tablet computers. It changes so rapidly. So this all is changing. The whole world is changing everything. And then another thing just happening recently, a couple months, smartphone is coming. The era of smartphone is coming. But I will tell you, in 5 years, some people predict, in 5 years, smartphone will be disappear completely. Disappear completely. Do you believe? I will tell you the true, real story about that. Okay, so what is coming? Wearable computer is coming. What's wearable? Everything on your clothes, everything on your watch, everything on your glass. You don't need your hand to hold the smartphone, to hold the PC, to hold the tablet. No longer. We don't use that. We have free hands to do everything right. We can free hands to do everything right. So, the mankind, in almost 1 million years ago, the humankind stand by his 2 legs. Therefore, leave your 2 hands to do everything. Therefore, the mankind becomes so clever, so wise, because yeah, 2 free hands. This is another historical change, because we don't need hold computers. We have free hand to do everything, to do every creative work. What you like, you can do it. You can really do it whatever you like. That is another revolution in the 21st century, right? So this is another revolution is coming. We call it wearable computing. Okay, so in a little small conclusion, from machine to people, and then from people to human touch. Everything is human touch. Everything for human. So this is another thing I want to deliver to you, the message I want to deliver to you. And finally comes up, disrupt innovation in education. How do we do education for our younger generation? For our younger generation, for the future, for the fortune of our next generations, it is education. And education should be disrupting, kind of disrupt innovation, not a continuous mindset. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so I just mentioned to you just a few seconds ago. So Wintel Empire is facing challenges. Okay, the rise of ARMS and Android. Next, please. Okay, so this is a chart just showing about the tablet computer, tablet PCs. Tablet PC do not use Windows. They just use Android. And the Android are not using Intel. This breakdown, data is breakdown, using ARMS or NVIDIA or Tegra. And the Apple iOS is also using ARMS or NVIDIA, something like this. They are no longer using Intel CPU. They are no longer using Windows, Microsoft, something Microsoft or Microsoft Windows, right? Microsoft Windows is only for PC, not on tablet, not on smartphone, right? So it's changing very fast. Completely changed. Next. Oh, this is a kind of a smartphone market, but it also reflects to the world. Android share 75%. Apple iOS share 24%, etc. Something like that. I just show you a little bit flavor of that. Something is happening, and it changes rapidly. Next. Okay, this is another chart. Something tell you. Samsung, the smartphone is using Android. Apple is iOS. Nokia here, and there's something else, like HTC, something like that. Next slide, please. Okay, this is another picture showing the same things. I want to skip it. Next, please. Okay, next, please. Okay, this is another same thing happening. So I say the Android, So this is the HTC, Motorola, Samsung, etc. Next, please. So I would say that the competition between open system against the closed system, and then you can imagine which system will win, which system will win. That depends on your adjustment, or on your adjustment, on your judge. Okay, on your judge. You can judge by yourself. So this is a Linux, Android. Actually, when I was in the Bell Lab, we developed the Unix. Then from Unix, we developed Linux. And from Linux, we developed Android. This is all the way. It takes 20, 30 years. Okay, next price. Okay, so now I'd like to say something new in recently. Transforming to Google Glass, and I watch this kind of wearable computing. So I would like to address a little bit about what is wearable computing. Next slide. Next, please. So this all depends on disruptive innovation. Every change rapidly. Complete change your mindset. So this the Professor Craig at Harvard University announced disruptive innovation. Disruptive innovation. However, there are a lot of disruptive innovation in ICT, in sociology, in economics, in sustainability, in humanities, also in education. Okay, next slide. So I would not, because short time I cannot deliver everything, but I just give you a little flavor about that. So Google is coming. Google has a global strategy to do all those things. Next slide. Okay, so everything about the wearable computer, what Google is doing. But I have no time. I have no time to deliver about what Windows is doing, what Apple is doing. But I just address little about Google, what Google is doing. I think you are interested to hear about that, I think. So next, please. Yeah, this is what is called Google Glass. Google Glass is very simple. It's a glass. And there's the CPU here. There's a battery here. And there's the prism here. And from prism, there's the most important is the micro projector. Micro projector projecting on the prism, and from prism will reflect the pictures to your retina. To your retina. That's the same simple principle of so-called Google Glass. It's very light and it's very convenient. I wear the Google Glass. I wear it, and then I see a big display pictures in my eye. How big it is? 80 inch. 80 inch display in front of me, in front of my eye. 80 inch. Really? 80 inch. Very clear picture. And it didn't feel anything. You can feel it's so heavy, you know. It's very light. Okay, this is the principle of Google Glass. Okay, next. This is another principle. I'll tell you how the Google Glass is working. It's working to your eyes. Okay? Okay, next. Okay, this is another explanation. But I just give you a conclusion. Google Glass is a technical masterpiece. It's based on projector. Projector is the most important part. Projector. Micro projector. Such a small projector. Occupy you only 5 cc. The micro projector size is only 5 cc. It's already on your head, okay? Okay? And every clever prism that projects the image directly onto the retina. That's very simple. Very simple. But the micro projector is a point. It's a key, okay? Key technology. Then, next please. This is real things. We're on this is glass. We're on your eyes. I will give you a small, a short movie for you. Yeah, I turn on a movie for you, please. Please enjoy. Turn the light, please. Turn on the light, please.
Okay, class. Hang out with the flying club.
Google Photos and Tiger Heads.
You ready? This is not because him, because the bandwidth. 亚洲大学 bandwidth not good enough. Sorry. Okay, it's okay. Okay, I just give this. Yeah, maybe we can. You want to play it again? No, it's okay. Maybe it's okay. Just you can have this on your computer or on your internet. No problem. You can go home to enjoy this this internet address. You can enjoy it. Yeah, you can enjoy by yourself. Okay, next please. Next please. Next. So I would like to introduce you is that now in the past what is done by Taiwanese, what has been done in Taiwan. Maybe you will be interested in that. So as our chairman just introduced you, we established the state of art of silicon planar technology. And this was addressed by Gordon Moore, saying this technology is the origin of VLSI. We made it successfully, simultaneously, Fairchild the same things, the silicon planar transistor. At that time, it's only our group for almost 10, 15 years, the only research institute doing this kind of modern state-of-art research. And it is a kind of very important for Taiwanese high-tech industry development. It's a key for Taiwanese industry development. We started research in the 1960s. We successfully demonstrated silicon planar technology in 1964. Okay? Then, 1973, Italy established the first CMOS pilot facilities. It's another milestone for Taiwanese high-tech development. And the AISCT was founded in 1974, almost the same time. The big giant of personal computer. And the founder is Dr. Si, was also our university student at the time. Then in 1980, it's kind of milestone, we successfully established Science Park. And then the first CMOS manufacturing company was started simultaneously. This kind of CMOS manufacturing company. And in 1987, another big giant, TSMC, was born. I should date the year here, 1987. Okay, sorry. And also important milestone that we established nano device research laboratory in 1988. Nanotechnology is so important recently. Nanotechnology. And we established in the year 1988. You know, when US started to promote nanoscience technology, President Clinton announced we should do something about nanoscience technology. It was the year 2000. Okay? Okay, then Another important thing that not only we are number one in semiconductor manufacturing, foundry service, number one, TSP is number one, but also not only technology. We need to develop system on the chip, system in the chip. So they call the National System in the Chip program was funded in the year 2002. Okay, next slide. Next, please. Okay, now Science Park is very successful. Silicon Valley is the most successful in the world. But I would say Hsinchu Science Park is the second most successful science park in the world. Now, the revenue, the employee, and the industries, etc. It's a big impact. It's a big contribution to high-tech industry, not only to Taiwan, but also to the world. Next, please. Okay, this is another important milestone. We established a Nano Device Laboratory in 1988. This is kind of research center providing services to 100 professors in the university in Taiwan. 100 university professors in Taiwan. So you can imagine this kind of very important facilities, it's a platform for the professors to doing high-level research. Next, please. Okay, this is another SOC system chip program. This promote our design capability, system design capability in Taiwan. I would very proudly to report to you our system design capability is just next to US. We are better than Japan. We are better than North Korea. Taiwan is number 2. But technologically, we are number 1. But in business, we are not number 1. Qualcomm is number 1 in US. Next, please. Okay. This is a SOC program. What happened? SOC in the year 2002, nothing. Taiwan is nothing. Taiwan is nothing. But year 2003, still nothing. But year 2004, Taiwan is something. And then here, Taiwan is something. And then here, Taiwan is something. And then now, the year 2013, we are something. We are something. We're just next to US. We are something. Next, please. Okay, what we started, I just mentioned to you, 1963, we made the first single planar technology. And another visitors, the inventor of MOSFET, the Dr. Tung. The CMOS, inventor of CMOS, Dr. C.V. Sa. The semiconductor guru, Professor Pearson from Stanford University. All those world-renowned experts visit Taiwan. So you can imagine at the time, it's a small, it's a very small achievement. But get the worldwide, acknowledgement, worldwide acknowledgement, in that time. Next. Well, this is a small picture say what we are doing. All the facilities, all the equipment we made by our own self. We made by our own 2 hands. We did not buy any equipment. We just built the equipment by ourselves at that time. This kind of a very precision mass alignment made by ourselves. Next. That's year 1965. This is Chang. The time is the Secretary of Defense, but later he became President of ROC Taiwan. And he started, and he decided to develop high-tech in Taiwan. That was the year 65. And in 1970, he revisited, and he then decided to develop high-tech industry. Because Taiwan has no any natural resources, no resources. What we have? Only brain power. Brain power is our resources. Next. This is my student. He studied AISCT. Next. This is the National Academy of Engineering USA in the year 2000. Next. But this is Japan, conferred by Japan Nikkei in science. Next. So, innovation of ICT has already provided for you. So now I just mentioned the Google Glass. The important supply chain is from Taiwan. One is TSMC chip. One is a company called Himax. He's very, very important component, micro display. Next. Okay, next. Okay. From PC era and transform to post-PC era. Now it's post-PC era. But the terminology PC era, the CEO of Microsoft, he hates to hear about post-PC era. He hates to hear about that. We have a conference, and he hates to hear about that. Okay, it's just interesting. Next. Okay, so mankind drive integration. Therefore, we can do something. We like devices to be like ourselves. Device to be like ourselves. We can think. We can talk. We can see. We can hear. We can feel. We can smell. We can manipulate. We can do wearable computing in the next few years. Next. This is a world #1 foundry company. I tell you that TSMC, his market cap in this year will surpass Intel. The revenue will be not bad revenue. The market cap in this year will be better than Intel. It's a milestone. In this year, the year 2013, TSMC will become stronger than Intel in this year, according to the market cap. In expectation. Next. So I just tell you a little bit about the display called the LCOS display. Just report a little bit about that. Yeah. Next. We're running out of time. Therefore, this is the Himax. The Himax is striking high just recently. Google's upcoming glass product because that Himax. Next. Okay? Sword. Not only that, Microsoft, Sony, Samsung in need of that. Next. Okay, so I changed my topic differently. Education, innovation, disrupt innovation in education. Next. Okay. Talking about disrupt innovation in education, we should address about Eastern culture against Western culture. However, in Eastern culture, we are based on Confucianism, we are based on Buddhism, we are based on Hinduism, but Western culture is different, very aggressive. So how should we do for our young people? How should we do for our young generation? What should I do for our young students? That is a big topic in education. Okay, next. Okay, first is the disruptive innovation in education. In Asia, in Eastern culture, motivation is less. Learning is more a little bit passive. Okay? Learning is more obeying. How we change from obeying to debater? How to change the passive to active? How to get them more motivation for learning? That is a big topic. It should be addressed. Next. So some more examples that in my past experience, we have trained a student. At the first semester, he was at the bottom of his class. But within one semester, he became top of his class. And consecutively, for 12 semesters, he always keeping in top. That's the kind of education, right? You can do it, that is. I think that's very plausible. There are many this kind of students in the past, in my class. So I think that would be the one indication. How do we educate a bottom student become top? I think that's important. That's important. Next. So I have some, he is the top of class, but he become top of tops. He become top of tops. And some example, I will show you that. Next. Okay, this is one guy from our class. He's now a chair professor at the E department of UCLA. He's got his PhD from National-Endowed-Chair University. He is a National-Academy Engineering member. His research is so important for smartphone. All the smartphone chip, key component smartphone chip is his invention. So this is kind of important. He become a top of tops. Next. But this is another student. She earned TSMC International Award. Competing with many MIT, many Stanford PhD. She's just a master student. He competing with the MIT, Stanford, UC Berkeley, Cambridge PhD. She earned the prize. Just young lady student. So that is very interesting, and I think this kind of value of education. Next. Okay. This is another thing we have done many times with the John Hennessy. This is John Hennessy, this is myself, and we have done a lot of things in innovation, in education. Yeah, we have done things. We work together to work on innovation in education. Next, right, next please. Okay. This another thing I should mention to you is my mentor, Professor Chen Chu. He was the MIT Web Chair Professor. He led the radar development in the world, and he awarded U.S. Presidential Certificate of Merit. He's such a person, and I think it's another value of education. Is so important. Inspire me in many ways in education. Next. Okay. Next. Next. Okay. So I think disruptive innovation is the key. Disruptive innovation in education is changing the way we are learning. Changing the way we are learning. And how should we do for our younger generation? Next. Okay, now come to a conclusion. I just say importantly report to you about disruptive innovation for education. I have a report to you about from mobile to wearable computer. Example was a G-Glass or iWatch, although I didn't mention about too much. Human touch is important. Software hardware fusion is important. Science, humanity, and psychology. All the people doing this. You got a Google, like a Microsoft, like a Apple. The psychologist is needed. Psychologists. So in their team, there are many psychologists. They change the way we are thinking. They change the way we are doing. They change the way we are living. Thank you very much for attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if you will be, we have maybe time for one or two questions. So your presentation was very interesting. So I bet there will be many questions here. So if anyone has questions, please raise your hand. We will deliver a microphone over there. And I will ask you to, do we have a microphone? Please introduce yourself and ask the question. And Professor will be nice to answer.
Thank you. My name is Francie Riani, and I came from University of State University of Jakarta. I am interested in your topic about disruptive innovation for education, but I don't see how to change the learning behavior or how the students learn faster and becoming top of the students before they are nobody and then to become somebody. Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Good question. And I'm very excited about that. I know you have this kind of question. But I would like to tell you, in our innovation in education, I did not teach anything to my students. I did not teach anything to my students. I did not teach anything. I did not teach anything. Why? If I teach him, he has no innovation. I teach him, he has no innovation. I just inspire his innovation. I didn't teach him anything, but inspire his desire for motivation. Motivation is important. Therefore, exciting his desire for motivation, for learning. But I don't teach. He would teach by himself. He should learn by himself. He learns something not by teaching. Learn something by himself. From internal his mind and internally his desire for learning. That is, I can answer to you. But I didn't teach anything. I'm very dumb. I didn't teach anything. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Good question. Yeah, you gave a very important point. Thank you. Your point is very important. Thank you.
Okay, we will have time for one quick question, one more. So, anyone? Just here?
Professor, it's okay. I think my voice is alright already.
Okay.
You mentioned about TSMC and
Hi, Max.
and Intel.
India, yes.
Why this time Korean and also Japanese, why they are left behind Taiwan? Can you explain to me?
Korea before Japan was leading, but sorry, no longer. You know why? Importantly, disruptive innovation. I just give you an answer. Disruptive innovation is so important for Japanese young people, Japanese researchers. How to do your disruptive innovation is important. Japanese is very good domestically, but internationally, they have some problem. Sony make a very good smartphone, but only sold in Japan, not in Indonesia, not in Korea. Why? Not in US. Why? They make a very good smartphone, but why? You didn't see any Sony smartphone in US. Why? In Europe. Why? Their mindset. Sorry, maybe there's many Japanese friends, but their mindset. They should open up their mindset. That's very important. Open up mindset globally. Open their mindset globally. That's important. Yes. Korea is very strong. Samsung is #1 in delivering memory devices, but not foundry. We are #1 in foundry. But Korea is a very respectable competitor. Korea. I call it Korea, China, Singapore, national capitalism. You know what is national capitalism? Nation equal to enterprises. China is national capitalism, right? Singapore is national capitalism, but Korea is democratic. Singapore is democratic, but there's a strong head to develop their high-tech, develop their economy, to improve their life, right? So, national capitalism, wow, is our respectable competitor. Taiwan is not. Taiwan is not a national capitalism. Taiwan is very loose. Taiwan is losing their position right now. Taiwan is losing their position now. So we are thinking about how do we work together for the future of Taiwan. I don't know. Where is the solution? I don't know. Thank you, your question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Unfortunately, we ran out of time, but I'm sure if there are some other questions, the professor will be willing to answer them during the coffee break, for example. And now, I would like to invite Mr. Trichahe Vibowo, who has a present for Professor, who is already leaving. So please, Mr. Trichahe Vibowo, come to the stage. Thank you, Professor. One more applause, please.